From the West Side, this is The Greg Show, starring Gregory Struss. I'm Scotty Joe Vegas, inviting you to stay tuned for the next 30 minutes because you'll meet out and hang out with a local rapper named Jackson Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Let's mark it up now. And now a man who's been bitch slapped by the Arthur, Mr. Gregory Rhythm Struss.
Thank you.
Yeah, come on now. Come on now. Yeah, now. Oh, yeah.
You know, Maud and I go way back. I don't know what that meant. But anyway, welcome back. Are all of you excited about the new season of TV shows, the new fall season? Right?
Yeah, wowzers.
Yes, so are we, because here at The Greg Show, we are just as overhyped and under-talented as your favorite new fall show.
I'd agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. You'll have to pardon me. Do I look a little disheveled tonight? I'm a little disheveled. Before the show, I was busy getting poked on Facebook, and the rest was history. Thank you. Here I am, walking. I brought the kids out today. The kids from the rappers are coming out tonight. They're not really kids, but it sounds like young men. Yes.
Young, fine men.
And I felt like I was Uncle G, and we were having a talk, and we had a great conversation, didn't we? I thought we had a good convo. And I thought maybe that I was lecturing or something. And was I lecturing, or was it okay? Were we cool? Were we deaf?
It was all good.
It was all good.
AG, baby.
So anyway, we have a great show tonight. We have Jackson Jones from the West Side, and I love
the tongue.
And I love it because beforehand, as I'm getting ready in my Jerry Spence, outfit.
What? Go ahead.
Do you remember Jerry Spence? He was the attorney during the O.J. Simpson trial, and he always wore a blazer like this every single night on MSNBC.
I try to forget those days.
Jerry Spence. He had the gray hair, and he was always like sitting there all the time talking about...
That lady was attractive that was on that trial.
Marcia Clark?
Yes, many afternoons, my friend.
I don't even know. So anyway,
What do you want me to say?
we have young Jackson Jones out here tonight. And we're also going to take a look at some other stuff, which we always say. I really have no idea what it is. So we're getting ready out here tonight, and you are just like, I haven't talked to you probably since the last show.
Correct.
You came out.
Yes.
You spent the night.
With a cat.
With a cat.
Yes.
And she wouldn't get off the bed.
Yes.
And then I don't know. It was
I just got up and left. I was like, enough of this. It was 4 paws on the bed and 2 feet were walking.
Something like that. All right.
Meow, meow, meow.
Anyway, I am Greg. This is The Greg Show. And we are reinventing community television from the west side of Chicago. And we'll be back in just a moment. Thank you. My phone is going off.
All right now. Yeah. Yeah, let's get some rap.
Tell us what you guys are doing here tonight.
Well, we're out at Pando Ski Center. This is our 5th year of our spooky hay rides, and that is a family-oriented tractor-drawn hayride, which is hosted by storytellers, which you can see in the background behind us. And each wagon has encounters with different characters and haunters and pop-ups along the trail. We really retooled our hayride to be more family-focused this year, and we put more of our big bang boo factor into the haunted house. So everything in the hayride is treated with some humor and designed to startle you, and really there's not that much gore.
I don't know if you folks have ever had a chance to go through a haunted house, but even though I have a group of people right here, I am like scared shitless, basically. You are the stalker, and I don't know if you realize this. Since we are in Michigan, there's an anti-stalking law. How does that affect your work?
Well, it really doesn't, because I don't have to obey laws because I am, after all, a corn stalker.
How do we know when it's time to go? Is there like a green light?
No, the group that's going through right now is kind of slow, so we don't want to ruin their fun.
Did they come in on one of those half buses or what?
I have no idea.
He stole my handcuffs, stole my watch, my badge, my wallet.
What about your dental insurance?
No.
Isn't that kind of eerie looking? A special light? Your pupils are dilated. What have you been drinking tonight?
Nothing.
The problem with me is I always am stalked, and it's usually people that are actual stalks. Did you know that?
You're always stalked?
Stalked by an actual stalker. She was looking like a stalk.
I think, see, when I went in there in the haunted house, they told them I was coming through. So I think I got the extra grabs, the extra snakes, and I got rats actually thrust into my face. And I bit one's head off, but other than that, it was really no problem. No, by the time I was on the air when I went through. I was screaming so hard that by the time I got on, I was breathing really hard. My heart was pounding. I said, oh, that wasn't scary at all. I was like, I don't get scared easily.
Are you sure that wasn't a 900 number?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Welcome back to the Greg Show, seen every Wednesday night here on Comcast and Xfinity. In the western suburbs of Chicago.
And you take that little computer thing there and put it on the old YouTube, and we're on there too.
And what are the search words?
Greg Struss Show!
On YouTube.com.
Or if you want a piece of me, Scotty Joe Vegas, you know what I'm saying?
I have a feeling that we should have probably recorded everything before we came back.
It's the show
because
between
it's just
the show.
It's like insane.
It is.
You were talking about a time when I don't even think I want to.
We were in Posen, Illinois.
Posen. Hold on a minute for our folks that are watching us in Lithuania.
Hello. Guten Tag.
And in Poland, we're number one in Poland.
Come back to Poland. Come visit us again.
And I want to say hello to all my friends in Germany. Patsawi. No, that's Polish. Patsawi is Polish. I don't know how I say it, but hello, Dugan Dagen, or whatever you say in German. What are some of the things? Our friends in Russia?
They're just like us, man. They got problems.
There's no difference between rubbing alcohol and 100 proof vodka. So on the rocks, no big deal. Not that I would know these
Ain't no
things.
big surprise. Pour me a drink and I'll tell you some lies.
So tonight we have a rapper on.
Wow.
And you were making a comment, and I love this because you always speak your mind, and it does come at times that probably aren't proper, and that's okay.
We're all human.
And who am I? I mean, it's like, and then I'm going home and I'm thinking, I went home and I'm thinking who am I to rain on your parade, right? It's like, I don't think you should say that, Scott, because of whatever. It's not for me to say, so I apologize.
Thank you.
But I'd appreciate if you didn't do it.
Okay,
anyway,
you got it.
Here's. I'm kidding.
It's all right. You remember when we first met? Not
It was 30 years ago.
And you would have the tape recorder.
It was 30 years ago. I'm telling these guys the story. Hold on a minute. I'm telling these guys the story about the gangbangers in the.
I was going.
Okay, go ahead.
Before the gangbangers,
All right.
we would take a tape recorder and we do the Greg Struss Show on a tape recorder.
Oh, you were
we'd
part of
say,
that too?
From the top towers in Dixon, Illinois, it's time for the Greg Show, starring Gregory Struss. And then you'd come out and then we'd impersonate everybody.
I don't know.
The Polish gypsy says I'm supposed to be around a double.
I never heard you talk about and I was talking to Bob before the show. I said Scott has now been talking a lot about Larry Garrett, who was on the show several weeks ago.
World-renowned hypnotist.
He's a hypnotist.
Miracle maker.
Right, and we didn't even get into talking the fact that he wrote a book about hypnotizing.
Uday Hussein.
Who was
Saddam Hussein's little boy.
Little boy.
Yes.
So he wrote a book about the experience.
Yes, which
And then you went to his place for a session.
Yes.
And now all Scott talks about is going to see Larry Garrett at the thing.
Okay.
What did you say? He said he had to he had to remove the hurt.
He had to remove all of the, what is that word? My mother disagreed with it. What was it? It was the abuse that I had as a child. I'm sorry, wrong one. The abuse! The abuse! And my mother, of course, was like, we love you. And we had lunch last week, and I told her that, and then her
Did she
head
take
spun.
the credit card away?
I love my mom.
Let's look in the camera and say, hi.
The abuse.
Let's look at the camera. Let's look at the
So
camera
by
one more
getting rid
time
of
and say, Let's say, okay, we'll look at the camera and we'll say abuse on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Abuse.
All right.
The abuse. He said that you'd have to get rid of the abuse to remember your sessions of your readings, to know your holes in your story. For when I win the $1 million, and of course I will share it all with my viewers on YouTube and the Greg Struss Show posse, and not the other word, but the abuse.
All right. Now let's talk.
You were abused as a child as well, weren't you?
Absolutely.
Heartbroken child.
Yeah.
You know
It was like that, and it was like this. My father did this to my youngest sister one time. If we can see this camera here. Yep, you're fat. I mean, is that abuse? That is abuse.
But your dad was skinny.
Yeah.
He lived in his own world.
His liver weighed more than his body. I mean, it just was one of those things. I mean, we all know about alcoholism in the family. I mean, come on.
We know about alcoholism more than you can ever know. You know what I mean? The abuse.
Now, the story that we don't have a lot of time here, thank God.
I love you, Scott. It's the abuse.
My favorite story from I can't talk tonight. What is this? Maybe it's the Jerry Spence look and the dollar
Okay,
glasses.
focus.
You were talking about your dad. His father is 83 years old, was in a convalescent home. I don't know if he had a stroke or what. And you never elaborated on that. So Papa Joe Vegas is in the convalescent home, away from your mom, away from the business.
Away from the Duck Dynasty.
And all of a sudden, a year and a half after, he miraculously gets out of bed, gets into his truck, and drives 6 hours to your place.
And knocks on the door at about 2:30 in the morning. Scott, open the door! Open the door! Boom! My face went. I'm okay now.
All right, so a couple weeks ago,
Yes, sir.
Your dad leaves to go to Escanaba, Michigan. I'll do the impersonation of it behind the wheel of the truck.
You're a failure, Scott. I'm going to go take Chet the drunk and drive to Escanaba in a 28-foot travel trailer. That Fred Struss of yours. You got any ice cream? You got any ice cream? I told my dad I'd never buy ice cream again. I was like, I will stick it up your hind rim.
All right.
And so he drives to Escanaba.
No, you said he was...
Take the glass off before he explode. And he drives that trailer up there and sees some relatives because his sister died of cancer up there. I guess they go visit the grave. And
What is that about?
That's old.
I'm feeling good today. I think I'm going to go to the cemetery. All right.
You know how many times he came up there and could have drove there numbers of times for like
No, but
centuries?
I liked last week when you were saying he got in the truck.
What was behind me?
He is 80.
That's the chins? That's it. I love my dad. That person that overtakes his body, I'd like to take a steak.
From Rubes.
Yes. That was it.
In a heartbeat.
Wow, you're steaming.
I know. It's
all right.
What can we say?
Hey, of course, this is all just in fun and games,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
Then we didn't mean any of this stuff. It was just playtime.
It's our new fall season. All right.
Good Lord.
When we come
And my
back,
grandma didn't kiss me.
she didn't.
She's like, she's in the minivan. Jesus. I'll get back at him.
I'm sure
I may
you
be
will.
disinherited, but I'm going to have a book and a whole TV show on it.
Would you listen to this?
Come on, Milton, let's
I'm
what?
free forming my speech tonight.
Hey, let's
All
cut
right.
it again. Let's do it again. What?
No. So I don't even know what I was going to say.
You were going to say something in the closure to make me more uncomfortable. So, okay, I got this right. So I bring the woman on and the kid on.
I want either your mom or your dad. So you never said that you would never come on if your dad was here. You said you wouldn't come back if your mother was
That's
here.
an awfully big step.
Well, so is having your girlfriend with no legs. All right, so here's the deal. It's not true. We're making this
This
up.
is all made up. This is just.
We're free-forming it, as we're going to find out. Free-forming in the rap.
When they hang, sometimes you got to go dingle-dangle.
Right, and that's what we're doing. We're doing like a verbal spar, a story.
Some of this will just get cut out, right? Mostly.
I doubt it.
I know. I bet a lot of it's going to get cut out.
Well, I was.
You'll tell me that, and then like it'll be Thanksgiving, and I'll be like, "Hey, saw you on YouTube. Wow, you really zinged your old man." And then he'll be like, "Got any ice cream?" I asked my dad not to say good morning to me every time. It could be like midnight. Good morning. And I'm like, you evil man.
Well, I was talking with my sister, and I said, you know, we don't have to look forward to aging parents. Our parents are gone. And it's like, and she's like, oh, I'm just relieved at that. You know, never mind the hurt of not having a father and a mother to visit.
Between a father and a son.
All right. Anyway, on that thought.
That was kind of cut short. So you want to...
Yeah, I know. I'm just all over tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please send your cards to Greg Struss. I need a mama.
When we return,
what?
We have someone from the West Side.
West Side now. Peace out, Via.
And we want to make sure it's Jackson Jones.
Jackson Jones.
Or Jay.
West Side Tyrant now. Walking tall and in charge. Bob Wire on the cobweb, biatch.
Yeah, all right.
What?
And we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, now. Talk about talent, ladies and gentlemen. This upcoming next guy is fantastic. He is rocketing himself up the corporate ladder, if I must say. What do you think about that, sir?
I think he's great. Let's welcome Jackson Jones.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, yeah.
It's in the heat of the moment. It's what you want but can't have, what you see on your fingertips but you can't grab. This that music that make you feel oh so glad. When you have long days at the end, sometimes you feel sad, but I'm just so glad this is the gift I have, because I've been moving down a different path and I try to navigate and see the way to place. I mean the place to take. Sometimes you need to take a break, but I won't pump my brakes when I move so straight ahead. Yes, until the day that I'm dead, I'm always recollecting on different words that I've said over different music and different sound sets, and how I've always been trying to get around that. I've heard that maybe we have found it, a new form of art, and straight from the heart with my homies from Oak Park we would do it and just get loose with the flow, so viscous like the lightest fluid. On your own you really had to go in and just show that maybe sometimes we would pretend that we didn't have what it takes to make it, but oftentimes people that did was really faking, because we glamorize all the whips and the chains and everything that really don't mean anything on the magazines. You see people traveling in limousines, but hey, just to be on the scene you gotta keep up with the regime, but that's not really me. So I try to be the illest MC across all 7 seas when I see my own reflection, because one day I know I need to pass inspection. When it comes to the hip-hop elite, I keep my cipher complete, and I try just to make sure that I walk in the streets on the straight road the way that would make my grandmother proud. If I could let her down, then I know I shouldn't stand out, but if I would make her happy, then probably I would just do something that wouldn't make my family sorry, cause if I'm moving along, then it's just something that would make the song prolong and keep pushing along and keep pushing along. If you loving this song, then you probably prolong. If it's right, then it's wrong. That's what they all say, but I just do what I do, because I mean when I see plans in the hallway telling me that we should collaborate, I'm just trying to be a magistrate as if I was royalty. You really can't foil me like a mathematical solution.
We are back. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are back with Jackson Jones. Wait, one? How do you do it?
You know what I'm saying? It's a shaking the streets. It's a 2 times.
1, 2.
There you go, son.
Yeah, okay. Flu season. That was great. That was good stuff.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me out. I appreciate the opportunity, man. It meant a lot to me.
Well, thank you. It meant a lot to us too. We like to get all kinds of people out here, and what do we call this? A big love fest every week, something like that. You understand. So towards the end, you were doing a song that's what is it, freestyle?
Yep, freestyle.
And what is that about?
It's free of form. It's basically just a manifestation of talent in the heat of the moment, because a lot of people nowadays, when it comes to especially rhyming, it's not really concentrated in freestyling. But when you have spontaneous moments, those are moments that cannot be replicated in any way, and it's just proof that you got the juice, so to speak, when it comes to rhyming.
Do you think that rap gets a bad rap? I mean, from
definitely with things like ratchet culture now, people promoting, indulging in different substances and just derogatory things, especially toward females, of course. Rap only for monetary gain, if you look at it. So a lot of things that don't pertain to life at all, and it's an art form, so it should be from the soul as any other.
But do you think that, like, when things become commercial, that it's kind of like people, consumers want to buy things, and so trends seem to be, this level of disrespect and things. I was talking to you beforehand about, thugs and how it's, you don't see people that are, you usually see people like with tattoos and things, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's kind of a would you say like a rough style of music?
Yeah, you have to present yourself in a way that you, I guess, aren't forced to be reckoned with, or at least that's what people believe. Well, at one point, I'm sure that gangster rap was something that was true, that was relevant, but not many people out there is really banging like that now. Not to say that it's not happening, because of course there's crime in the city, but it's more of a stage persona, and the people that really help these art forms stay alive aren't people who are around those things to begin with, for the most part. These things really take off with the people that have money to pay for albums and money to buy tickets to shows, and a lot of times those are people that are from some suburban area somewhere, and it's just not really something that's connecting with the people.
And when you're young and looking up to people, it's kind of like, here's somebody that's talking, you were talking about like the disrespecting women and substance abuse and things like that. And so now you have younger people coming up that are doing things that are kind of mimicking that and kind of spreading that tone, so to speak. And you're not doing that. You're doing something different.
Yep. Something that's supposed to be.
Did I get myself out of this one or not? I got myself a hole here.
Something that's supposed to be uplifting, you want it to be something that's almost, I guess, spiritual, even though everyone won't be as spiritual as you want them to be. But the way I look at it is, when I'm making art, sometimes the ability to make that art is there. Whatever your talent is, sometimes the ability to do what you define yourself by is there, and in a second it can be gone. And so where does that come from? Does it come from you? Does it come from somewhere else? So it almost is, if you don't want to say spiritual, there's almost is something supernatural about it, or something that's just bigger than us about it, the abilities that we have sometimes. Yeah.
Who do you like?
As far
Eminem?
as MCs?
Eminem?
I have to say, top of the list definitely got to be Black Thought of the Roots. Legendary Roots crew holding it down, Mos Def, Talib, of course, Elzai, Pharoah Monch has always been a thoroughbred MC. It's like day one. Common Sense.
Have you heard of Frank Sinatra?
Yep, of course.
Tony Bennett?
Mel Torme.
Brooke Benton.
Who else?
Brooke Benton.
Brooke Benton. I don't know who that is either.
You know who it is.
So you're working on a disc. And what's going on with that?
It's called Native Tongue. Kind of paying dues to some of the hip hop conglomerates early on that there was a hip hop conglomerate under the name of Native Tongues, where you had like African Bambaataa, the Jungle Brothers, the Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. Those were all people that were under that label. But I conceptualized the idea off of human nature, and it's kind of just a spin on MCing because rap is more like my native tongue. But if you look at human nature, it is the native tongue that we all have.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming out and performing on the show. You're going to wrap it up for us at the end. Jackson Jones, everybody. We'll be back in a moment.
All right.
Thank you.
Now in Japan, the hobby has still stayed really strong, and they're into their robots and their sci-fi type stuff. And people would literally start sculpting in their homes of their favorite characters, and then they would make molds around their kits, produce them, and start selling them. They started having shows, and it started taking off in the U.S. People. Same thing. All movie collectors wanted a little piece of their movie, and
it's quite a big business now.
It's really starting to take off now. They're starting to have big shows from this weekend in New Jersey, out in California, Louisville, Kentucky. Chicago will have one this year.
Do you go to all the shows?
I try to attend the ones I can attend. Usually enter the model contest, and usually different dealers will see me there that produce kits, and then they'll want to hire me to do their...
And we are
Abuse!
back. Can we repeat after us?
Abuse!
Thank you.
Hey!
Did he touch your head and do one of these when they did that?
I was actually touched by a Filipino man in Harvey once at the clinic.
Really?
Yes, it was my doctor.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, we want to thank Jackson Jones for coming. Just a superb job. Thank you.
You had it up in the house now.
You hit it up in the house
freestyling.
now. We were going to do a rap, but unfortunately we ran out of time.
And we ran out of Reynolds wrap.
We ran out of Reynolds wrap. Anyway,
Well,
Greg
wrap.
Struss, thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Somebody please tell me what love is, cause I just wanna love what love is. So many times I thought I discovered love with chicks under covers, but pretty soon they leave me to wonder, is sunshine always followed by thunder? So do you really love me, or is it just a game? Do you love me, or is it just a game? Sunshine's always better when it's after rain. Every move that you make has a purpose, so much more than the beauty on the surface of your epidermis. I heard that fate is returning. Two types of things, pleasure and pain, and the latter isn't worth it. If it feels good now, does it matter if it hurts when a trade winds change? Then what will remain? Memories on your membrane forever leave a stain. But I really can't complain about Cupid's aim. We know the seasons change, but sunshine feels better when it's after rain. So can somebody please tell me what love is? Cause I just wanna love what love is. So many times I thought I discovered love with chicks under covers, but pretty soon they leave me to wonder, is sunshine always followed by thunder? So do you really love me, or is it just a game? Do you love me, or is it just a game? Sunshine's always better when it's after rain. How close is too close? How far is too far? Is it worse to neglect or to try too hard? They say love is give and take. We should both play a part, but we all make mistakes, break hearts in the shards that all the king's horses and all the king's men really couldn't put back together again. In the calm of the night, when my lights are dim, I know the depths of my soul hold you within. It felt good as sin to let emotion take me to a place I never really been. So I can't pretend that we could just be friends, but I might pretend that what we had back then would never end. Even though we didn't blend, wasn't down with current trends, then we made it round the bend, separated by the winds, and I didn't get a win, just a reminiscing grin. I still wish we could do it again. I said, I still wish we could do it again. So, can somebody please tell me what love is? Cause I just wanna love what love